All right, we got the pill in here. What's up, Teddy? All right, Teddy, we finna try. You want it, Teddy? Teddy, no, where you going? I need you to take it. You want that? You gonna eat it? Let's see. Did you eat it? All right, good job. Good job. The mom said that he loves things with cheese. I told her most dogs don't take things at the groomer, but Teddy did. So we're gonna let that kick in and wash other dogs. We'll be back, Teddy. What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you are notified every single time I drop a video and you don't miss not one video. Everybody in here, smash that like button, share this video, and drop a comment down below during the video, after the video, before the video, whatever you feel. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you like about the video. Let me know what you want to see next. You saw by the title and the thumbnail, we got a good one. So let's get straight into this groom. Also, you guys, make sure you're continuing to watch the ads. I know some of them can be a little lengthy, but watch them as much as you can for as long as you can. It truly does help support the channel and support me. It helps me to do this on a more full-time basis, and it really does keep me out in the algorithm as I've been, and keeps the channel growing. I really appreciate it and love you guys. Let's get back into the groom. Okay, everybody, this is Teddy, and yes, he is matted. The reason why I am washing him first is because he is not good for shaving down his front legs, or furthermore, good for doing his front feet. So I don't feel like fighting with him twice for his front legs. So I'm going to wash him and blow dry him straight through. Also, he's on medication, and I had to give that to him this morning, so I wanted to give it some time to kick in before I start shaving him. But everything is matted. His tail's matted, his legs are matted, his belly's matted. His front legs are not matted. His back legs, and some around his body and his neck. Almost like they keep a harness on him because he has a harness. Come here, Teddy. Don't be a turd, Teddy. So this is Tearless shampoo. It's puppy Tearless shampoo. I'm going to use that to wash his face. And then I'm going to rinse his eyes with cool water just in case any soap gets into his eyes. Because although it's tearless, tearless can still irritate some dogs' eyes. This is cool water that I'm rinsing with. Just to get the soap out of his eyes. All right.
Just give me 1 second.
And that is a conditioning shampoo that I used. That's mixed in that bottle. So it already has conditioner built in that they build when they make the shampoo. So I don't have to put any, okay, so I don't have to put any conditioner on him. And it's a really good shampoo. It actually helps a lot with getting your coat really clean, nice and soft, and it loosens up matting. I noticed that. Nope, come here. Alright, so I'm just going to rinse the soap off of him. And then we're going to dry him. Boy, I have to rinse your leg. Whether you like it or not, it's gotta happen. And for those of you that think that if you wash a matted dog, the dog won't get clean, you can't put soap down to the skin, that's not true. You have to just properly scrub the dog, which is what I do, which is why it takes a little bit longer to rinse the soap out because it's so far down. No, I have to rinse you. Come here. I gotta get them eyes. Still got a little soap there. And I'm lifting his head this far back so the water doesn't get in his nose while I'm rinsing in between his eyes. Come here, bud. Come on. Alright, you're all rinsed. Alright, let's wring you out a little bit. Just trying to squeeze some of the water out of his coat so he dries a little quicker. And everything on him is going to be shaved, including his tail. I just don't know what length I'm going to do just yet. You can be a sweet boy when you want to. Yeah, you can. Okay guys, so unfortunately the second half of this video, his grooming, his actual grooming, the audio, I don't know what happened. I don't know whether I didn't turn the mic on or something happened, but there is no sound to the video, so I am going to be doing a voiceover for this part. So because Teddy is matted, I am going to be doing a 7 blade on him. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why did I wash him prior to shaving him? I do believe I explained a piece of it while I was washing him. Y'all can let me know in the comments. But the reason why I went ahead and washed him first was because Teddy is really bad for his front legs, and because he has to take medication before grooming, I would prefer not to stress him out twice with having to pre-clip his legs and then go and shave his legs down again for the final cut. So I opted to just wash him straight through and shave him just once. And also, the blade cuts a lot better when the fur is clean as opposed to when the fur is dirty. So I didn't have to struggle through trying to clipper through his body. But as I stated, I am doing a 7 blade on his body, and I'm going to be doing that all over, even on his legs. Sometimes on dogs, I like to leave longer legs, but he is matted everywhere. Now, he comes in probably twice a year, and the daughter of the actual owner brings the dog in because the mother is elderly, and she, I don't believe, can bring the dog in herself. At least that's what we are told, that he is her mother's dog, so she brings the dog in for her mom. So that's why he's matted. But she seems to know more about the dog, so I'm not really sure what the situation is. I just know she tells us that this is her mom's dog. Now, as you can see, while shaving him down, I did see a hot spot on him. I did notate that and let the owner know when she picked up that he had a hot spot. But something like that could be from matting, it could be from moisture sitting on the skin, anything. To be completely honest, it can be from a medication, it could be from flea and tick treatment. Anything that is to the body or coming through the body can cause a hot spot like that. And I, so I'm still getting over being sick. I don't know what it was or what I had, but me and my partner actually got sick, and I'm still struggling with trying to catch my breath and cough, and it's just a lot. I still have a lingering cough. It's hard. A lot of things are hard. So if you guys know any remedies, let me know down in the comments what kind of helps. I know green tea detoxes your lungs, so I drink green tea, and that seems to help. But if anybody can let me know what kind of helps, like a lingering cough or anything like that. I know some of my family members told me to put a hull inside of my tea, and that helps to a point, but I've had to use an inhaler. It got so bad. So if y'all have any remedies, any home remedies, let me know. And to our knowledge, it was not COVID. There were none of the symptoms lined up with COVID, so it just, I don't know what it was. We went to go see my family, and we came back sick. It's so ironic, but so it's ridiculous. Because how do you go on vacation and come back sick? So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but we're on the mends, and I'm doing better. I just have this lingering cough, and sometimes I struggle with trying to catch my breath because of the cough. It's just a mess. It's a mess. And one thing I think I'm most frustrated about, it has nothing to do with me being sick. It has something to do with the actual video. I am frustrated because in this video I talked about so much, and I talked about so much during his groom. I talked about things, around his body, his matting. I talked about a lot of things in this video, and the audio didn't record, and I don't even know what I talked about. So I'm just going to be going over what I'm doing with his haircut, and then also the history that I've worked with him. So I've only worked with him twice. This is my second time. The very first time I groomed him, he actually struggled a lot. Now, the who I thought was the mom, but she says that she's not his actual owner. She said that she gave him his medication before he got there, and she said that we waited too long to start him and his medication wore off. Now, for owners who are watching, who have to medicate their dog before the dog goes to grooming, and who probably feels like the dog needs to be started right away because of the medication. Now, depending on when you give the medication, most medications don't kick in for an hour to 2 hours. So it's actually best that the dog sit there, or you give the medication 2 hours or an hour prior to the dog coming to the grooming salon. Now, because we had to give him his medication there, I gave him his medication as you all saw earlier in the video, and I had to let him sit for about an hour to 2 hours before I actually put him out to start him so the medication can kick in. Now, the one thing about trazodone, because I believe that's what he had, the one thing about trazodone is it doesn't get rid of the behavioral issues. It just lessens them. So it kind of puts a little mask over it, but the mask is almost translucent so things can still kind of be seen. So for him, he is not a fan of his front legs being shaved. And the very first time I did it, he was absolutely terrible. This time he wasn't as bad, but still he wasn't great for his legs being shaved because he's not good. And I had to explain that to the owner because she thinks that once he gets the medicine, he's just perfect and he just stands there, which is not the case. Most dogs can still fight through trazodone. Now, if they get trazodone and gabapentin, that's something completely different, and that kind of is more of a sedative because gabapentin actually sedates them. Trazodone kind of alters their mind. So getting both of them, I've seen dogs have to do that. I've seen that be super effective as opposed to just the one. Now, for me, if I have a dog that struggles with grooming that's not already on medication and the parent is not aware, typically I'll recommend an alternative. So I'll recommend CBD before I recommend medication from the vet because medication from the vet has different types of side effects. CBD is more of a natural remedy that I recommend. Now, that's not to say that CBD can't have a side effect. It can absolutely have a side effect. I've just seen in my personal experience that dogs have a reaction to vet medication before having a reaction to CBD. Now, what I'm showing right here in the video is he has little bumps and red irritations all over his body, and that of course came from the matting. Like I stated earlier, it can come from the mats being too tight on the skin where it's pulling at the skin, or if he gets washed at home, that's water sitting under that mat and just kind of sitting on his coat that's causing irritation to his skin. So all in all, I would just recommend bringing your dog to the grooming salon on a regular basis so you can prevent matting, you can prevent skin irritations, and you could just prevent health issues all around because matting can cause health issues for dogs as well. So I'm going to go in with the e-collar right away before I start his front legs because I remember him from when he was here the last time and he bites and thrashes for his front legs. So for me, a lot of people ask me why I don't muzzle dogs. Shih Tzus really should not be muzzled, so I'll put an e-collar. I'll almost always use an e-collar before I muzzle a dog. Now, if it's a dog like a dachshund who has a longer snout than their legs are, then I'll muzzle because they can get to you quicker than any. I swear dachshunds can get to you quicker than any other breed. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they move so fast, but it's the combination of the short legs and the long snout. But for a dachshund, I'll muzzle because, like I said, they can get to you. But most of the other breeds, I'll just put an e-collar on. But I put an e-collar on prior to clippering his legs because I know how he is. So on his sanitary, I'm going to go in with a 10 blade. And when you're doing a sanitary, that is the safest blade to go in with. I know some groomers who use shorter. I personally prefer a 10. Some dogs can still get irritated with a 10 blade. So for those dogs, I usually use a 7 blade and they tend to be okay. But for him, because he has matting, I don't want to use a longer blade because I don't want it to catch the mat and then catch the skin and he gets cut. So I'm just doing the safest blade, which is a 10 blade. So now I'm going to be starting his paw pads, and as you guys could see, I'm going to be doing them in a 30 blade. I like a 30 blade on the paw pad because it gets it the absolute cleanest. Some groomers use a 40 blade. I personally prefer a 30 blade. A 40 blade for me is just a bit too close, and I've tried a 40 blade before and it's irritated the paw pads, so I personally like to stick with my 30 blade. Now, some groomers only use a 10 blade. I know for new groomers, when they're taught, they are taught with a 10 blade, and that's for people who are taught in a corporate setting. I'm learning working in a private shop that things are different and things are taught differently, but for people who are learning to groom in a corporate setting, we are taught to use a 10 blade first because it is the safest. And I know you guys saw that his nails are so long. Now, the last time I did him had to be in April or May, and I did him probably, this had to be right before we went on vacation. This was right before we went on vacation, so it was close to the end of October. He hadn't been groomed in 5 months, and I'm sorry this is a little out of frame, you guys. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get his paw pads done. I had a lot going on that day. But yes, he hadn't been grooming about 5 to 6 months, so his nails has shown how long it has been in between each groom. And I thought it was kind of crazy how long his nails were. But I want to say for people who don't get their dogs groomed often, because there's a lot of people who don't do it, who don't get their dogs groomed often. If you're not going to get your dogs groomed often, okay, at least bring your dog into a grooming salon, a PetSmart, a Petco, even your vet to get the dog's nails clipped. Because if you don't get your dog's nails clipped and they continue to grow, I've seen so many times where the nail grows into the paw pad and it became infected. So nails are very important to do, so please, 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 if anything, even if you don't get the haircut, I still would like you to do so, but even if you don't get the haircut, please get at least the dog's nails done, because right here, that was a mat wrapped around his toenail. So please, nails cut. They're very important. Quick, another important part about getting the dog's nails cut: the longer you wait to get the dog's nails done, cut, clipped, ground, whatever, the quick continues to grow. So as the nail is growing, the quick is growing. So that means the quick is growing as long as the nail, and they become so long that they can't even get pushed back with a grinder because the quicks are so long. So it's very important that you guys get your dog's nails done. So for his tail, I did a first attempt on dematting his tail. Now I still dematted a part of his tail, but not his whole tail. So I started off trying to demat his tail, but then I decided to shave half of it because it was so matted in that part. And then I went through and I brushed the rest of his tail that I did not shave so I could give him a little bit of a tail. What I don't like to do, even when I have to shave a dog down completely, I don't like to give a dog a rat tail. I think a rat tail is probably the ugliest thing on a dog. I can't stand it. Now, that's not to say the dogs who have a naturally short tail, that is understandable. That's how dogs look. But for dogs that have a natural fluffy tail, something about a shaved tail down to the tip of the tail to the bone, it just doesn't look right to me. I don't like how it looks. So I'll still, for the most part, give a dog maybe like a little feather duster at the end. But for him, I was able to demat some of his tail and leave him just a little bit of a tail. Now, what I sprayed on my brush is some of my conditioning spray. It also helps to detangle really, really well. I absolutely love this spray. Now, what I've learned is that it's actually not for detangling, but it does a phenomenal job at detangling. So I use it literally all the time to detangle something. But I want to say in this moment, because there is somebody in the comments who is like, I think you brush too hard, or they always comment about me brushing. When I brush a dog's mat or I brush a dog, I'm not smacking them with the brush. It looks a completely different way in the video than the strength that I'm actually putting behind it. But I have to put a little bit of force to the brush because I cannot demat something just lightly tapping at the mat. Now, y'all see, I will hold my hand to protect the skin or protect the bone or anything like that while I'm brushing, so I'm more so brushing my finger, but I'm not digging at the dog's skin. So for the person in the comment who keeps saying that I think you're brushing the dogs too hard or too rough, I'm actually not. I'm really not brushing them hard at all. And for the most part, a lot of the times it's hitting my skin as opposed to the dog. So I just wanted to give that little tidbit of information. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to finish up his body by scissoring all the stickyouties on his paw pads and his paws and neaten the rest of him up, and then I'm going to go through and finish his face. So one thing I noticed when I was grooming him, as you can see here, his leg kind of, I don't even know what to call it. I had to have my manager look at it. Like, it just kind of just flops out. Like I'll pick them up, stand them, and sit them back down and make them stand, and it'll just, like y'all can see, it just pops right back out. If y'all know what that is, can y'all let me know in the comments? Cause I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy, but y'all help me out. So for his face, so it can be proportioned to the body, I'm going to be doing 3/8 on his body. So that is 10 millimeters, and that is a 2 guard comb for those of you who go by the numbers or the letters, and it is the blue guard comb. So 3/8 on his body, and I find that a 3/8 matches a 5 or a 7 perfectly, especially because I know now he does not come in that frequently. So I took his face a little bit tighter. Now, typically when you do a 5 on a body, you can do a 1/2 inch, but because I did the 7 on his body, 3/8 would look really good. A 1/2 inch would be just a little bit too long for a 7 blade, but also he doesn't come in frequently, so his face had to go tighter regardless. Now, as you can see, his ears are already short, and that's because the last time he was here, his ears were matted, and so was his legs, but I had to shave his ears the last time so you can see they're growing back in. So I don't have to shave them this time, but I do kind of just take them neatened up around his head. Well, his ears. So now that I am done with his body and his tail, I'm going to go through and neaten up the rest of his face. So I'm going to take my thinning shears and clean up his face because his owner did hack at his face. So right around his eyes, it's shorter than the top of his head. Well, shorter than the top of his head was. So now I'm just going to go through and neaten up and kind of round his face off, and then clean up around his ears and around his muzzle. Alright, now I'm putting the finishing touches on little Teddy, and before we take a look at his finished video, we're going to take a look at his before picture. So quick flashback, this is what it looked like when he first came in, and this is his after. He looks like a completely different dog. So cute, so adorable. It really brings out his cute little Shih Tzu face. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys smash that like button, share this video, drop a comment down below, do all that fancy YouTube stuff. I love you guys. Train your dogs for grooming. Make sure you watch every video straight through. Watch those ads. Enjoy the videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Love you guys.